this is super awesome. I'm really happy that you were down to do this, Jeremy. This is episode 100 of the podcast.
Congrats.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, no problem. Like, Fury has been just like one of those special bands for me because growing up in Palm Springs, our scene like barely existed.
Yeah.
Had like one friend, had one friend, Steven Kibble, and he basically was like the backbone of the entire scene. He's the one who's like booking bands, money out of his own pocket just to pay the band so that they were willing to come back. And it never really had a legit scene or any bands to like, you know, really rep.
Yeah.
So like when I moved to Orange County in 2010, you know, went to shows just like normal, but then 2014 when the demo came out, I was like super stoked. So like, all right, cool. I'm in Orange County. That's like where I want to be.
Yeah.
There's a new band, Fury, like their hometown band. I got to support them at all costs. And if I'm being honest, I honestly never knew how far it would get. But you know,
none of us did.
Yeah. So it's like fast forward to being here, it's just crazy. So it's just like Fury just like means so much to me because like I can actually like rep and be like, yeah, like Fury from my hometown.
Yeah, we didn't go into it thinking that would anything like that would happen. We just thought it would be something fun to do, and just Madison was recording a lot of stuff at the time, and it was more I don't know, more of an art project to kind of for him for recording and for writing, and me just to do something creative at the time. And we thought we would play like maybe 2 shows tops for like homies that came into town on tour. And yeah, everything after that has been very surprising.
And I've definitely heard you say that before, that you thought you guys were only going to play 2 shows, and you kind of just grew into this like gigantic band.
Yeah.
Like, was there any point where like, all right, like we said 2 shows, like are we going to stop, or were you just like down to go with the flow?
It was, we always go with the flow. I think that was maybe a safe way for us to just go into it, so maybe it wouldn't, you know, just being like, oh, but like don't have high expectations. And then Soul Search was gonna do a full US, and Dorian asked us to do it if we'd be interested, and that was kind of the catalyst to take it a little bit more seriously, I guess. But just more, seems like a good opportunity. We should take it. It's the kind of thing only happens once in a lifetime.
Yeah, you know what's crazy is I actually saw you guys for the first time right before you guys went on that tour with Soul Search.
Where at?
It was in Las Vegas of all places.
That on the Zoom tour.
Yeah.
At the coffee shop.
Yeah, the little coffee shop. I
had the Monster Energy smoothies.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah, and it was so random because I told my friends, I'm like, yo, like we have to go out and see this band, and like we have like a lot of friends in Vegas.
Yeah.
So like we got like, you know, some deep roots there, and half my friends were like, all right, like we'll go just to see our other friends. But I was like, all right, cool, like we can go do that. But I definitely want to go to the Fury show because first of all, like, you know, bands from our area, like, you know, playing out in Vegas, like we have to go out and support it. And like it's just so frustrating because I had to like beg them to go. And they're just like, no, because at that point, like the circle of friends that I had, they were already kind of getting like jaded and didn't really want to check out like newer bands. But I was like, no, you guys don't understand. Like, we have to support the newer band from our area. That's the only way we're gonna keep this thing alive and relevant. And it was just a hard time for me to get them to go. But I got them there. I don't think they watched you, but
that's fine.
Yeah.
They didn't miss much at that time. I really remember that show. It was in like it was off the strip. It was kind of away from everything.
Yeah.
It was like a little coffee shop. We just played. It was in like in the store. Little gig.
Yeah, for me it was like super random too. Yeah.
There wasn't a lot of people there, so it would surprise me anyone who came. So thank you.
Mm-hmm. And
it's crazy.
I was always curious. You guys put out the demo like through like Masha's Delight.
Yeah, we did it. We played a gig back home. I'm sorry, I'm distracted by the homie behind the camera.
It's all good.
No, we weren't gonna play any local gigs, and then our friend in Bakersfield asked us to play a random show, and we're like, oh, like maybe that'll just be the first gig. Mm-hmm. And our friend Marco that's funny, I was just thinking about this the other day actually, because I was talking to Marco about it. Marco had filmed it, and that video was sent to some mutual friends, and that kind of jump started Zach and John to be like, oh, like we should put this demo out. I had met those guys like a year before at Destroy LA, that fest that happened.
Okay, yeah, I remember Destroy LA.
And met them through that, and then however long later, they were just like, oh, let's hear the songs and we'll put it out. And there's nothing too crazy. To us, it was crazy because it was kind of I liked all the bands that they were putting out. It's something I wanted to be a part of, and it felt really far away because all the bands were East Coast bands. I think Unified Riot was the only one who wasn't like really adjacent to where they were at. It was just surreal. It's like exactly what I wanted to do.
At any pressure or at any point did you feel any pressure because you guys were like, right out the bat, Mosh's Delight, and that's kind of a big deal because they were putting out bands that were like straight fire, and you guys, right out the gate coming out on Mosh's Delight.
Yeah.
Did you feel any pressure, or was it just like another day for you guys?
Oh, I don't know. It felt special. There was pressure, but the same pressure that we always feel with any part of our life, which is just on ourselves, I guess, to make something good. And I didn't feel any pressure. Like, oh, I hope everyone likes it. Like, I liked it, and we all enjoyed making it and enjoyed listening to it. And after that, anything that happens is just kind of cherry on top of the cake.
Okay. And you guys went out with Soul Search. It was a full U.S., if I remember correctly, right?
Yeah, Canada too.
Oh, you guys went international. Okay.
It for like 6 weeks.
Yeah, and I thought it was interesting because at certain points through the tour, like, bands would hop on. There was like, if I remember correctly,
Skinfather played some gigs.
Yeah,
Forced Order played some gigs. Misery played some gigs. Oh, I can't. There might have been other bands that hopped on, like Friends, in different areas, but those I think were those are the 5 California bands.
Okay. And do you remember that tour at all? Like how the experience was? Because was that you guys? I'm assuming that was your first full US.
Yeah,
right?
It was jarring. It was pretty monumental. And those, if the few times I've gotten to go back to those places, it's the first thing I think about it. I get brought back to those first times we did it, and everything was just insanely exciting and really new. And that's probably one of the tours that I could remember the most, just because of how big of an impact it was.
And I'm trying to remember the Kingdom Come record release.
Yeah. That
was after that tour?
Yeah, it came out, I think the record had come out when we were on the road.
Okay.
And then, God, was that the gig? Did Give play that gig?
No, this was, if I remember correctly, it was at PBW, headlined by Soul Search, and then Force Order had, I think it was a Retribution release.
Yes. We did the same cover. I remember that show now. Yeah, we both did record release covers of the other's band. Yeah.
Yeah, because like, looking back now, seeing like it was like 3 bands doing their record releases, and I think it was like Violent Situation's last show.
Yes.
It was pretty insane. Like, did you guys like beforehand like plan to all just wait to release the records on like that one show, or was it just something that came together just like ironically?
I think it just happened to work. I think it just worked out that way. It wasn't until after we'd all kind of planned our individual things that we were like, oh, like you guys are doing something, and then like, oh, you guys are doing something, let's just all combine them. And it felt good too. I feel like at that time we were kind of, up until that point, we were kind of on our own and having to make our own, make our own way and make our own name for ourselves. And that was one of the first times I think the already established bands and the people in it that we all kind of came together and I don't know, did some type of unity type gig, I guess. It felt really good.
Yeah,
it's only been uphill or totally gone downhill since.
Yeah, because looking back at that lineup, it's just like obviously you guys are all connected.
Yeah.
And just seeing that you guys were able to all come together, it must have been like an insane thing. Just like just like friends playing the whole night.
Yeah, at the time it seemed really normal. It seemed exciting, but it was also just like, God, what else are we gonna do? This is just no time to really to put it in perspective. and I really haven't too often. I don't really look back too much, but when I do, like right now, I can see how special it was.
Yeah, and it's insane too because hardcore, like you just never know. So like that's why I always try to like encourage and try to practice myself, like just living in the moment, enjoying like every band like while they're active, not looking back with regret, hoping for a reunion. Like I just want to be able to look back and be like, cool, I was there for like the golden era of that band. It was fun, like awesome.
Yeah, I feel the same way, and I feel a lot of regret when I see a band that plays program and I was in walking distance and I didn't go. Restraining order I played like a year ago, and I remember just like eating food and seeing on my phone that they were playing and being really mad at myself for not being aware, and also not choosing just to put my food in the fridge and go see them. But
yeah,
I was hungry. What are you gonna do? But yeah, I have that. I was talking to my brother about that the other day. We went and saw a movie out in LA. This movie called Medium Cool, and we had seen it before and never in a theater, like just like the DVD. And I on the way out there, I just remember being like, God, I'm so happy I'm doing this, because this is a rare opportunity that not a lot of people get at all anywhere, especially at this time and place. And he was just like, yeah, like when we're 50 years old, like we're gonna be bummed that we didn't do these kind of little things, even though they seemed strenuous at the time when you're trying to sit in traffic for 2 hours. But when you're finally there, it feels good to be seeing stuff at the right time.
Yeah, and I definitely find it hard sometimes. Like there'll be something that I want to do, but I just try to find every excuse not to, even though like I really want to do it. I love
canceling plans.
I'm really bad at that.
It's a relief sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's definitely cool because like sometimes like I'm like, all right, I really want to do this, but it's just such a hassle to have to like get to where I want to be. And like once I'm there, I'm like, okay, I just have like a sigh of relief. I'm like, I'm glad I made the decision to actually go through with what I wanted to do and not just sit at home and make up excuses to not go.
That's such is life. I think that's universal for everything. Being open to what could happen instead of putting another lock on your door, I guess.
Yeah, it's really interesting. And like, and it definitely wasn't always like that in my life, because for me, I felt like I was always the one that wanted to just, all right, jump head first and be down for anything. But maybe once I got like a little like older and had like a little more responsibility, I just become a little more jaded towards doing like extra stuff, because I'm just so like hyper focused on making sure like I take care of like work and all like the adult stuff before I even like think about doing anything else.
Yeah, same. I have that complaint with my girlfriend sometimes. Just we'll just complain, oh, I wish we didn't have to work today. I wish I had more time to do this and this and this. And I wonder if I'll be able to do certain things if I don't put enough time into it, and blah, blah, blah. And she's like, oh, you can do whatever you want. You just gotta work. And
yeah,
it's how you spend that off time. And whether it's a quick turnaround or something that takes a little longer, it's life.
And sometimes I feel like there's not enough time in the day, because like I'll know when I get off work, I have like a set schedule. I work like a corporate job during the day, and I'm like, all right, I get off at this time, and then I try to plan out my day, and I'm just like, shit, like I have to like shave off time here and there just to try to squeeze everything in, but sometimes it's just not possible, and I have to reschedule.
Yeah,
it gets kind of rough sometimes.
That's life.
Yeah. Okay.
You can only do so much. You're human.
I know, but it's like sometimes I just wish and like this weird like thoughts go through my head. I'm like, man, like I wish there was a way where I didn't have to sleep.
Oh yeah, I have that conversation with my brother a lot. Mm-hmm. Or the Clock Stoppers situation. Remember that movie Clock Stoppers?
I've never seen it.
You can stop the clock and everything stops, and you can get a lot. Obviously that's impossible for a billion reasons, but we think about that all the time. Like, oh fuck, man, I just wish we could just stop it for like an hour, just chill, take a nap, go about our day.
I always think about time travel, and like there's like these like certain moments in time where I'm like, okay, if I'm ever alive for it, which I don't even know if it would ever be like viable, since I feel like it would be super chaotic, but like there's like this like key moments where like I'm like, all right, if it ever happens, I'm gonna travel back to like these certain points, and it's like fun to think about sometimes. but it's also crazy too because I'm like, man, with how advanced technology is getting, and like I like watch like sci-fi movies and play like a lot of video games. I was like, these ideas have to come from somewhere. Maybe at some weird point in time, it actually was a reality.
I wouldn't doubt it, and I hope it's true.
If you had a time machine, where would you go first?
Where would I go first? Oh my God. Oh my God, it's so tough. I'm just thinking about certain movies that came out in certain years.
Okay.
Oh, I wish I could have seen, like, I don't know, Taxi Driver at Cannes Film Festival or something, or I wish I could have, I don't know, seen the Beatles at Shea Stadium, shit like that.
Okay.
Pretty standard stuff. Wish I could have seen Jimmy play guitar. I don't know.
Yeah.
I had the thought like, I wish I could have seen certain movies at my age now, like when they came out.
Okay.
I guess that it would just be I wouldn't want one big one. I would want a bunch of small ones.
Okay. Yeah. Same here. Like, for me, it'd be like opening day of Disneyland.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
I had a teacher who was Tinkerbell on opening day.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
I had a history teacher. Oh, what was her name? Oh, I'm so sorry to that teacher. She was great. Great history teacher in 8th grade. We sang Billy Joel in class one time as a history lesson. What was her name? Anywho, she was Tinkerbell.
That's very
Opening
interesting.
day.
That's crazy. Opening day Tinkerbell.
Kind of, pretty big deal. She was pretty proud of it.
Yeah, no, I would be so too to say that I lived through that and got to experience that. Because look at this place now. It's like from 1955 to 2019. It's so insane how much it's grown and changed over the years.
Yeah, it's a complete beast that's been chugging along for a long time.
Okay.
It's a lot of people that come inside of it and come in and out of it.
Yeah,
and
and
it's terrible.
It blows my mind too because you try to like fathom like how many different people you see, and it just kind of becomes like a blur because it just becomes like a bunch of faces after time.
Yeah, a lot of bodies, a lot of jackets. I think about I don't know, when I'm on the road, I'll like look at a map and I'll be like, oh, my body is like so far away from where I'm usually at, and that gives me a weird perspective of where I'm at. And when I'm here, I'm like, wow, so many. Most of the bodies in America have at least thought about coming here, let alone have come here. So it's a weird place.
Yeah, I feel like this is like the only place that I'll do like an absurd amount of walking.
Oh yeah,
because
major walking.
Like anywhere else, like I just wouldn't want to walk as much as I do here. Because like here, they kind of like mask it with like, you have these destinations to get to rides versus like, outside. Just, I don't want to walk. I'm just gonna hop in my car and drive.
I have that excuse all the time. But yeah, I appreciate how my feet feel after a long day here. That's why I didn't wear my boots.
Okay. Wear some comfy shoes.
I really thought about it before I left.
It's gonna be a long day, a lot of walking.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wore my Docs last time.
To the park?
That's a bad idea.
Yeah, no way. Yeah, I wore boots here for a Dapper Day, and we were here for like half the day. But it's just like, even at that point, I was like, man, this is like a mistake.
Yeah, I felt bad. We shot a video the other day, and I made my brother wear leather shoes. He was playing Richard Nixon.
Okay.
Yeah, in the video, and it didn't hit me until like an hour into doing it. I was like, oh, I've got him running in a lot of scenes, and I didn't think about how that would feel. And he didn't complain, but I could see the pain.
The pain in his face.
Yeah.
Are you allowed to talk about what video is for?
For Birds of Paradise.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, interesting. I guess we can skip ahead to that. Birds of Paradise. I know some of your bandmates used to play Magic the Gathering, or maybe they still do.
They still do, not as frequently. They've moved on to the one like the app on the phone, but they still they dabble.
Okay, and there's a card called Birds of Paradise, so I'm not sure if that was a reference.
It wasn't, but I did use that. I looked it up the other day.
Okay.
And I actually sent it to the group chat because we're figuring out colors for just like for merch and flyers and stuff. And I was like, I really want to use like these certain colors. I used them a lot in the video. and like they're the actual colors of the plant. And then I sent him an actual picture of that card. I was like, you guys know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I think my phone's on vibrate. Sorry. I'm making sure my shit's on vibrate. Okay.
Okay.
But no, yeah, nothing for the card. We did do a shirt, a lightning bolt.
I own that shirt. Yeah, I saw that and I'm like, holy shit, this is awesome.
I was a big fan of watching them play Magic.
Okay.
I never got into it, but it. Where did it come from? It came from a few places. I had someone tell me one time that if I was gonna be reborn as a plant, I would probably be one of those. So that always stuck in my head. I loved how they looked. I love what they represent. But it came from the idea of circumstance. Like you can, it could be as beautiful as it could possibly be and get as big as it can be, but no matter what, it's still stuck in the ground. And it still has its circumstance. And I thought a lot about circumstance going into the record and how, you know, everyone has their own way and their own variables and things like that. And then I thought about also thought about like positive amputation a lot. The idea of losing or cutting something down for other parts to grow. And so that all tied in with the idea of a plant as well.
Okay.
And we also recorded at Paradise Studios.
Yeah, great dude.
Thought that was a tip of the cap to Maddie.
So many great records have come out of there.
It sounds really good there. They got something good. Got something good going on.
So going back to the music video, do you have any idea when it's going to come out?
I don't know. I have to edit it.
Oh, so you shot it and you're editing it?
Yeah, I'm trying to do everything. Or I'm saying my friend Sid Finnegan's gonna do it. It's my homie.
Okay.
But it's really just a pseudonym. It's really, I've been thinking about that episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm when like they have a wing of a hospital named after Larry David, and then there's another wing is by Anonymous, but everyone knows it's Ted Danson.
Yeah.
So it's kind of where we're at right now. It's gonna be an anonymous video, but it's pretty obvious that
it's you.
That I did it.
Okay.
But I'm trying to do it all. I'm trying to do as much as I can.
That's interesting. I think it's cool to be able to do everything in-house and not really have to rely on other people.
Yeah, and I do love doing it, and it's not. I don't think it's better or worse in the big scheme of things, but I do because they both have a lot of positives can come from both of them. But it's something I really want to do, take a crack at. And
you've never done this before, like shot a video?
No, just my little siblings' basketball games growing up, you know, with a handheld camcorder, nothing more than that. So this is my first try at it. And,
okay.
I had a good time.
Obviously, I'm guessing it's gonna be put up on YouTube whenever it's done.
Oh yeah, it'll do it. Unless it really sucks. I don't think it'll totally suck. But,
okay.
But yeah, it'll be on all up on all that good shit.
Okay. Hell yeah. All right. You told me that in high school you worked in downtown Disney.
Yeah. It was a kettle corn business, and she had different carts and stuff like at like different fairs, like the OC Fair and the LA Fair, all that stuff. And she had a cart in downtown Disney when I was like 15 or 16. I would see her at like Super Bowl parties growing up, and she needed some help, and I loved Disneyland growing up, so I was like, fuck yeah, like work at my favorite place, of course. And it turned into just us working like the Friday, Saturday, Sunday shifts at like 6 to 2 in the morning. And it got old real fast, but I loved it. Loved Disneyland.
Back then, were they still giving you guys like free annual passes to the park?
We got in for free.
Okay.
I got like 6 or 8 tickets a year for our homies if we wanted, like in the mail, but they wouldn't tell us when.
They would just like randomly show up.
Yeah, but all our friends had passes so we can go whenever. But
That's awesome.
those are the days.
And so you're there for all throughout high school, or?
Yeah, since I did it illegally before I was 16.
Oh wow.
And then up until I left, so yeah, basically all high school, like end of freshman year up until I left. And I still worked with her off and on, like even up until a couple years ago, just whenever she needed help or if I ever needed some extra skrill. But she lost her Disney contract a long time ago due to TV. She went on a reality TV show for the business. And against everyone's wishes, but she saw stars in her eyes, and the fact that she had a car at Disneyland got mentioned on the show, so she lost her contract because that's against the rules. So yeah, one day she just lost like $1 million contract out of nowhere because of some producer on some TV show.
Damn.
But
That's rough. Because like I can't imagine like her going in that reality show would have been like that much like probable for the business.
it was a problem because she just does things not the most professional way, I guess. And it was everyone in the business just going, "This is a bad idea. Like, this guy's gonna see right through our shit." But she just figured TV's TV, so it's got to help somehow. But it did quite the opposite, unfortunately.
And after you quit, obviously that pass ran out.
Yeah.
Did you ever have an annual pass on your own?
No, I never did. I never made the jump. I thought about it here and there. But we would go, my grandma still worked as a nurse, so she would get us in like with the family, or,
That's awesome.
you know, my mom cut hair, so she knew there would always be someone that she would cut hair for that either knew someone who worked here or actually worked here. So somehow, some way, we made this a consistent thing without buying passes or buying actual tickets. So
That's awesome.
we hustled our way in any way we could.
I bought my pass like literally it was like a couple months before I moved out here, because I moved out here like late 2010.
Okay.
And some friends were like, "Yeah, you should get one. It's like something that we do." So I was like, "All right." And honestly, at that time, like I liked Disney, but I wasn't like super like hardcore about it.
Yeah.
And then I moved out here, and that just became something normal that we did, was like go to the park, hang out, just go grab dinner or something. And it got to the point where like I just kind of like started getting like way more into it than them.
Yeah.
And they got over it, stopped buying or stopped paying for their pass. And I was always like in search of like new friends who would actually like to go to Disneyland, because it was just like some thing that I just couldn't let go.
Yeah.
I just like, for me, it's like I couldn't imagine being out here and not having a pass and just coming to something like so awesome as Disneyland.
Did you go as a kid?
Yeah, like as a kid, I grew up in Palm Springs. We would do like annual trips with the family.
Yeah.
So I go like at least once a year.
Okay. So you knew what was up.
Yeah. But I feel like even like coming as an adult, like I appreciate it like way more, because like as a kid you kind of see it differently, you know.
Oh yeah.
But like just being here now, it's like wow, I'm like super like privileged to be able to just come here like on a whim.
Yeah, that's how I have always felt once I started working there. Because it is a crazy place. I've had moments of just feeling giddy today, and I think that's, I think a good thing, but I can see how it could be.
Yeah. No, it's awesome.
But
I'm glad that.
I do love it out here.
Yeah,
it
I'm
is
glad
fun.
that you're able to come back after, like you said, you hadn't been here in like a year.
Yeah, I came here recently with my girlfriend. Her brother works here, and that was a good day. I hadn't been there for years when up till that point. So it's just, yeah, it's weird being in this room. I feel like I've sat here way too many times in my life. It's a weird comfort.
Yeah, it's crazy because I come so often, and sometimes I take certain things for granted. So like even just like sitting here in this booth is nice, because like I've walked by this area countless amount of times.
I waited in that line for that Space Mountain so many times.
Yeah, and it's just like I never thought that, you know, doing this podcast would lead me here today, like, you know, in Tomorrowland, in this booth talking to you.
Yeah.
Like, and I've walked by this just like a million times.
It is crazy. Yeah. I've gone to the bathroom many times at that bathroom right there. And so it is fun. Funny how life takes you places.
Yeah. So I want to jump to, I don't know if you remember Suburban Fight number 40. It was the Paramount record release.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's weird that like I know that number, but it's only because I've like looked it up and.
I remember that being I remember landing on a 10 of a number.
Yeah, and there's just like certain ones where I'll remember just key numbers. Like I don't know like you know 1 to whatever they're at now, but it's just like certain ones like definitely stick out in my mind.
40. That's so many.
Yeah.
And that was a long time ago too. So it's I think it hit 100. Maybe it hit 100. I'm not sure. But yeah, that was a mega show.
Yeah, and you know, like, I was so pumped for that entire show, and at that time I had picked up a second job, so I was working like my normal corporate job, but then also I got a job at the local comic shop that I shopped at, and I got scheduled to work that day, and I was like, this really sucks, and I'm loyal to the guy who owns the shop because he's like a really good guy, like a friend of mine. So I don't want to like just not show up. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna show up to work. I'm gonna make sure that everything's done on time, so I can race to the show and at least just try to catch some bands. But for sure, I was gonna see Fury because Paramount, super awesome record, and didn't want to miss that. And I remember comic shop was in Fullerton, got off, raced all the way down to Santa Ana. And I made it in time to see you guys. I missed every band.
That sucks. Everyone was really
it
good.
It was such a sick lineup, but I was just like, what? I was like, I'm mad that I missed like literally the entire show, but I was like, I'm happy that I'm gonna be able to enjoy this moment.
Yeah, that was a crazy day. I couldn't believe we pulled it off. I remember there was like a fest or something happening at the observatory that weekend or something, like Title Fight had played or something.
Okay.
And I remember seeing how gigantic that show was and just thinking like, oh, this is gonna go really bad tomorrow. And I think that helped. I think having those expectations helped a lot. But it was insane. It's still one of the coolest gigs we ever did.
Yeah, and we kind of touched about this like earlier, but there was no footage of you guys' set from that show. Which, in this day and age, like it's like really surprising to me that there's not just some random person who pulled out their phone to record you guys' set.
Yeah, I thought that too.
Yeah. So, was that like a thing you guys wanted? Because there was really no like professional people doing it either.
Oh no, I think our friend was actually recording a bunch of stuff, but he just ran out of tape or battery or something.
Oh,
like
wow.
I think it was just as simple as that. But we definitely never planned it to do anything like that, and if it happens, it happens. There's nothing we can do. But I'm really happy that no one did, because I like that it lives. Everyone has their own memory of it and their own way of looking at it, and I think seeing it takes away some magic. I think, in a weird way.
Yeah. I'm in a weird spot with that because like sometimes I do wish I could go back and be like, cool, I want to watch this set again from like this like specific time period. But then also it's like, damn, like I have to like think about it like back in like like old school when we didn't have like people documenting like these shows like they do today.
Yeah,
so,
you got the pictures, and that's even the pictures keep it mysterious.
Yeah.
But I don't know. There's that movie Lost Highway, where one of the characters talks about how he doesn't like video cameras or something. And he goes, oh, why? He's like, oh, why? I like to remember things how I remember them, not exactly how they happened. And that always stuck out to me. And so that's what I think about when I think about that gig. But
sometimes I like get kind of scared because I think about like revisionist history.
Yeah.
And because like for me, like I swear by that night, like I raced down there, made it in time, had a great time.
Yeah.
Like loved everything about it, but it's just like I don't want to forget that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I feel it. Yeah, I bet. I'm sure when I'm older, I'm gonna wish there was a video of it. And I can remember little moments here and there. But yeah, I'm kind of indifferent. I'm different, but I like that one wasn't, because it was special.
Yeah, and one thing about the record, you guys re-recorded the song "The Fury."
Yeah.
which was like off the demo. Why did you guys pick that song out of all the older songs?
It was a surprise to me that Maddie wanted to do it. Like I think he had done it and was like, oh yeah, re-record this one over again. And I was already a little hesitant about re-recording Damage Is Done for it. Because I like to have it just live on in one way. But it did work out. The more we thought about it, it made more sense, and it fit. It fit the one little pocket we needed to fill, and it was. It resonated just as much, if not more. I think the song in general at that point, it didn't. The other ones kind of felt old, and looking back, they all feel really old to me now. But that one seemed that it needed to be done again, I think, and seen in a new way, and putting it into a new context, but still have the same kind of foundation it did for the demo.
Yeah,
I'm glad we did it.
Yeah, me too. And the fact that it has like your guys' band name in the song.
Yeah, I always like that. I like that kind of stuff. I like to have like an alma mater type deal. I liked having I don't know, a little bit extra world around the band and the name, and not make it feel like a brand, I guess. I like to make it more loose, more open-ended and looked at in different ways.
Yeah, I can definitely get behind that, because sometimes it's weird when like you're trying to sell people on something. You
Yeah.
know? It's like, hey, like come check out my band. We did these old songs. Like, come check out the new record, even though we got some old songs. I don't know.
Yeah.
It could be a little strange sometimes.
It just fit. There's a million reasons why it fit, and a bunch of reasons why other ones didn't. But with that one, it just fit. It just felt right. I think that's we do everything off that. It's got to feel right to us, and that definitely did.
And when you guys put out that record, was there ever any talk of going back to Monsters Delight or doing it?
Yeah, we always talked about doing it with them. We always like doing it. Zach and we always talked about doing a record with Monsters Delight, and or even doing it ourselves or whatever. And it worked out with Sam at that time. And I wouldn't mind doing something down the line with them again, but I know they're doing other stuff now anyway. So I'm kind of glad we didn't. It was time and place.
Yeah,
but
sure. And how did you guys end up on Triple D?
Sam had I met Sam the same time I met everyone else during that Destroy LA weekend, and everyone kind of somewhat kept in touch, and then after the demo came out, he was pumped, and then went and saw us play a year later at for Not Just Talk, like the same fest under a different name, and saw us play that week because we played a string of shows around the fest, and right away asked us to do a song for the comp. And then that quickly turned into, how about you do a whole record? And we were down right away. We were like, yeah, this is exactly where we want to be. We love all the bands that he puts out, and it worked out perfect.
Yeah, definitely like that label a lot, because like you look at like the entire roster, it's pretty diverse.
Yeah, it's crazy.
With like the different ranges of like hardcore, which is cool because. And I don't know if it's a bad thing, but some labels tend to sign like a lot of bands that sound the same. They're kind of known for like a certain style, which like it's fine. I don't mind it, but I just like that Triple B is able to, get a whole roster of like different sounding bands and make it work.
Yeah, he takes good risks, and I've been surprised. There were some bands he signs how much I enjoy him. He's got a good ear, and he's got a wide net right now, and I mean, he puts out quality. He's got the market cornered right now, and sometimes I think that's maybe that could be detrimental, but I don't think it is when I really think about it. And it's, he's got a standard now, and people expect a certain thing when he puts out a record, and I think he lives up to it. And how can you not appreciate someone putting out diverse stuff, and as much as he is?
You talked about Fury's first set at that America's Hardcore.
Oh, it was unbelievable.
Because I remember people tweeting about it, and I was like, okay, maybe they're just exaggerating. And then I saw the video got posted, which I can't find to this day. I don't know if it got pulled off YouTube.
I think it got pulled. The guy who did it, I think, is a shady character.
Oh, okay.
I don't know for sure.
Okay.
But I think some.
Yeah, because I literally wanted to revisit that, and it was one of those things where I was like, wait, am I crazy? And I was like, no, this video was up because I used to watch it.
Yeah.
Like, and I was tripping out at like how well received you guys were like that early on.
Yeah,
and,
it
like,
blew our mind.
Yeah, like kids are just going off, and I was like, this is like one of those things where like shit, like I wish I could have been there for that.
It happened so fast. I wish I could remember any of it. This is unbelievable. I think that changed everything. It changed how people looked at us and changed how we were received at shows. We had played a handful of shows back home that were pretty lackluster. And the stars just aligned. I don't know. We couldn't have planned anything like that in a million years. I think it just got lucky and changed everything.
At what point do you think like Orange County or Southern California started showing you guys support?
When we got home from that fest.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Where did we play? I don't think we. Oh, I wish I could remember what show was the next one we played at home, but it was like night and day. God, I wish I could fucking remember what show we played when we got home, because I don't think we played a tour show. Because I think we started the tour locally, but yeah, it was a whole new game. It was awesome.
Yeah, and did you ever like ask yourself like what changed? Because like you guys are literally playing like the same songs, but you guys are getting like different support.
Yeah, it's just you see people doing it. It's I had this conversation the other day with my girlfriend about not mob mentality, but crowd. Oh my God, crowd speak. I don't know what the terminology she was using, but just basically when. It's really easy to fall into what everyone else is doing, and if you see something done a certain way, I think it encourages you. It shows people, oh, like I can do this to this band now, and this is legal. And that's on our part too. I don't think we made it pretty difficult to figure out what to do with us, and that was on purpose, because we didn't know what I wouldn't know what to do with us if I was an outsider. So that kind of gave people a blueprint, a rubric, I guess. And it worked out. It was surreal.
I feel like I've been in that situation before. I remember I went to go see Distort play their first show at Program.
Yeah.
Or their first time in Program. And a lot of my friends were confused. They're like, oh, like, why are you showing up to see this band? And I was like, because they're good. Like, just because they're not big yet, just trust me, this band's good. Like, come check them out. And some of them listened, some of them didn't, and then you kind of fast forward to now. It's like the stuff that they've put out and done is it's awesome.
Yeah, they're the best.
Yeah, so it's like it's definitely like hard sometimes when people don't want to go check things out before it's cool or popular.
Yeah, but you always like when it hits and it stays. 'Cause there's so many bands that come and go that no one gets the chance to even appreciate when it was happening. Yeah, it's just a weird luck.
Yeah, and sometimes I'm just like, man, like I wish, X band would have been around in this era, because kids would have been going crazy for them, but during their current or their time when they were active, nobody really cared, just because that sound or whatever they're doing just wasn't popular.
Yeah, it stings. This band Fell to Low that Rev put out a couple of years ago was it was like a religious experience every time I got to see him. And I would talk about him any chance I got, and I'll probably never get. They actually played pretty recently.
They did. I was at that show.
At the one at Program.
Yeah.
And I never thought I'd see that day again. And yeah, it's sad. It's sad when things just come and go. I'd imagine, you know, I feel like we saw Soul Search a million times, but I still feel like I didn't see him enough.
Yeah, I see tweets, you know, where's the Soul Search EP or LP, and I'm just like, wow, like, they had that kind of impact on people that people are, like, to this day are still asking for it.
They were a special band. Yeah, it comes and goes.
Yeah, dude, they had a sick intro. Like, their intro was so good.
Everything was sick.
Yeah.
Everything was really sick. They were special.
Okay. At what point did you guys know you were going to sign to Run for Cover?
Oh, when did we decide? Oh, I think after one of the, we were in Boston for something, for one of the AHCs, maybe the last, if I was to look at the calendar, I could figure out exactly which one. But Paramount had been out for a while. It was after the record was out, and they had talked to Sam about like, oh, like what's up with these guys? Because if you guys had seen us play at the label, and we had met a few of them, and they had mentioned they'd filtered it through Sam, and I think they had told Sam about the idea that they were thinking about doing something like that or asking us, and we just thought it was insane. Didn't make any, to us at the time, didn't make any sense. And we really didn't know what we wanted. We didn't think we'd even want to do another record anyway. So we just,
really?
Yeah, we just like put it in the back of our heads. Like we didn't really think about it. And then it kind of got more serious and more time. Maddie got really serious about wanting to write more songs, and I was liking what he was doing, and I had a lot more to say. And so we just started that process first of just writing the record and not thinking about who was going to put it out or anything like that. And once we had it written and ready to go, we just got they got in contact with us, and we heard them out and you know, saw what they wanted to do and what they were interested in doing, and we had talked to a few other people around that same time, and it just made the most sense to do it with them. They gave us the most freedom, allowed us to do exactly what we wanted to do, and only helping us make that as possible as we, as good a job at doing that as possible. But I don't remember when. It was after one of those AHCs. I think that's when we first started talking to them in Boston. I think we had all gotten breakfast or something together. And then just here and there, slowly after that, when we were kind of getting stuff ready. But yeah, it wasn't until like the record was written and done that we were like going into all that kind of stuff.
So in some weird world, could Paramount have been it for Fury?
Oh yeah, Kingdom Come could have been. The demo could have been. We never had any long-term plans. Just kind of steady as we go. And if we're feeling something, we gravitate towards that. And that's where we're at right now. We everything we do, we just want to make it 100%, like it is the last thing we do. And I felt good about everything we've done. Like once it was done, I was like, okay, I'm good. Like if this is over tomorrow, I won't have any regrets. I won't be bummed out. But if another opportunity comes or something sparks inside of us, we should chase it. And not try to think too much about it.
Before we get too deep into the record, I was on your guys' Bandcamp, and I'm not sure who did there's a long write-up about failed entertainment.
Oh yeah, Ned did that.
Okay.
It's great.
Yeah, it's lengthy, but I read that and I'm like, wow, this is an amazing way to sell this record.
I desperately needed that. I needed some kind of context, because I knew no matter what, once the record was done, it was going to be out of our hands, and I was worried about how, I shouldn't have been worried, but I was worried about how people would represent it to other people, and I was worried about how it would be taken by people. and I tried as hard as I could to be vague in the actual record and be universal. And but when it came to the context, I felt like it was way too easy for people to take it a certain way, in a way maybe I didn't really want them to, even though I have no say in it. I do the record, and that's all I get to say, to be honest. But I felt strong about I felt strong about the record and how it came about, and it was special to me, and I just wanted to convey that to the people who, the stores that would be buying the record, or the people that would be reviewing it, or whatever that, or people finding it on Bandcamp, and it was something I really wanted to take advantage of, because those can be really bad. There's a lot of bands I really like that do them terribly, and it turns me off almost in a certain way, because it makes me feel like they don't care about it, which is wrong. That doesn't mean that they don't, but it's just an added extra thing that I want to take care of.
Okay, so the second to last track on Failed Entertainment.
Yeah. The poem.
Yeah, New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
Can you talk about that?
Yeah, we were in Europe with Praise, and that was when Maddie we were on our way to the last show, and had just nudged me on the foot and was just asking. He was just asking how I was and how I felt about the tour and how I felt about how everything had been going. Just checking up on me, and then he just asked me like, "Hey, how do you feel about doing another record?" And I was like, honestly, I've been kind of like planning something. I've been like getting stuff ready for something. I didn't know what it would be for, but I've been flowing. And he goes, "Yeah, I think I want to do one." And around that same time is when a couple days before that, around New Year's, I'd gotten an email from James, who had done our artwork, because he had done a shirt for us, and he just wanted a picture of it while we were out on tour, and we were just shooting the shit about different bands and different new stuff going on. And he goes, "Hey, I think you might like this poem that his friend Andrew had done," and James and I had talked about Andrew a bunch, because we were both big fans of his music and his artwork. And he was like, "Hey, I was actually with Andrew over the weekend for New Year's, and he wrote this poem, wrote this poem for us, and sent it to us at midnight, just like a group of us. And I transcribed it. I think you might like it." And he was right. I loved it. It hit me like a ton of bricks. And that really, that was what sparked the idea to kind of keep, it sparked so much thought in me. And I just began writing right away. And then it was a couple of days later when Maddie had bugged me about wanting to do another record. And I was like, "Oh, well, yeah, you just happened to hit me at the perfect time. I'm ready to go." But it was, yeah, it's just, it just had a lot of truth. It was really simple, and I still get new images in my head every time I hear it or read it. And it came from a person I really respected, and it was really inspiring at that time, artistically in different facets. And I remember really liking it, and then when the record, when we were wrapping it up, it still felt like it was missing something. And I didn't know what it was. I didn't want to write another song. I didn't feel like we needed to write another one. And it popped in my head. Oh my God, I had this poem. We should use it as a buffer, or use it as a coda or something like that. And then there's so many things tied in with it. There was the Unity, Uniform Choice, always having poems on their stuff, and I liked that aspect of it, but I hated the idea of me saying it, and I thought I would show the poem to people all the time. There's different people that would react to it in a certain way, and those are the people that are the ones that are speaking on it. I just had them record on their iPhones. I would have them read the whole thing, and we picked pieces here and there and edited it down, and it worked out really well.
And I definitely looked at that list of people that are on that recording. How did you decide to pick those people for the recording?
Oh, I asked all my friends that liked it and that connected to it and that I had discussions about. I would just ask them right away, like, hey, if you want to read this, like, that would be really awesome. And there was a few more that I asked that, like, we just didn't have the time, and then there's others that did it, and the recording of it didn't. Like, we couldn't transfer it onto certain software. I don't know. So there's a bunch more that, like, it wasn't like I specifically only wanted these people. It's just some just didn't do it. Some I lost. Some the sound was bad. So it just worked out that way. But it's all people I love and respect and
it's
appreciate.
Really like an interesting spot on the record, because I feel like something like that would either be at, like, the front, the middle, or the end.
Yeah.
It's like literally the second to last track.
Yeah, I liked where it ended. I liked where it ended up. That was a big part of the whole. I feel like we take a lot of time with just how the track order is going to be like, and that's probably where the most of our disagreements come from. But that one just worked out perfectly. It set up that last song just perfectly, thematically and the intensity and everything. It was I couldn't have dreamt that up. It just worked out perfect.
And with the sound of the new record, I felt like there was like some progression with the band.
Yeah.
Were you ever concerned about your fans of Fury like not really digging the new sound?
Yeah, that's always going to be a thing. But I think I think of it like we put everything into it, and we really pushed ourselves in every aspect. And if someone's we didn't make it in a surface level way, and then if someone's gonna listen to it in a surface level way and say, oh, I don't like this because it doesn't sound like this, or this isn't them being them, those aren't people I want hearing what I had to say, to be honest. And I knew it was gonna be a jump people had to make, because it was a jump we had to make. So I wanted people, I worried, I wanted everyone who liked us to be forward to like it, because it's us, and we're being honest and pushing ourselves. There's always going to be self-conscious, being self-conscious in that way. But I'm not mad if someone doesn't, or I'm not going to take it personal if they have strong feelings against it. Like there's a person who I really respect their opinion, and they really liked Paramount, and they just shit on the new record in a bunch of different ways, and everything made sense to me. I couldn't argue anything about it, and I appreciate that opinion more than anyone else's, to be honest. And that's the one I think about the most is that one, and I think for a good reason. It's like Brian De Palma, this director says, if with reviews, if you believe the good reviews, you got to believe the bad ones too. And so I take that seriously, and I do believe all of them. I believe the bad ones more so, but that's just me.
Yeah,
being self-conscious.
It's really hard sometimes, to see certain criticisms.
Yeah.
But I definitely agree with that, because doing the podcast, I obviously love hearing good feedback, but also I would love to hear what people think I'm doing wrong or what I can improve on.
Yeah.
Because for me, it's I want to constantly grow and just try to do better.
Yeah.
Because if I'm ever at a point where I think this is it, I'm doing everything right, it's perfect, I can improve, I think I would just be selling myself short.
Yeah.
So it's just I'm always
boring.
Yeah, exactly.
You bore yourself.
I don't want to limit myself. I always just try to do everything with an open mind.
Yeah.
And, just try to take and grow where I can.
Yeah. That's all you can do.
Okay. And you guys had it was your record release show at the Observatory. Back there, you guys played with it. It was Distort, Ceremony,
and Sheer Mag,
and Bug.
Yes.
And did you guys have that planned from the beginning of the tour for that being the record release, or did you guys ever want to do something separate from the Ceremony tour?
We've toyed around with a bunch of different. We had so many different ideas. We were trying to do the show at the Fullerton Airport at one time in the airplane. Like we tried. We were.
That's interesting.
We had so many different ideas.
Wait, real quick, have you ever been to the cafe at that airport?
No, I heard it's awesome.
Dude, it's really good food. I used to go there just for like lunch or breakfast.
I deliver coffee across the street to Van Dyke, that roaster.
Okay.
And I'm tempted to go over there and get some.
Dude, if you have time, I highly suggest you check it out.
But yeah, we had a bunch of different ideas. Like, we wanted to get the Limit Heads and Archers of Loaf to play the show. Like, we had stupid ideas. We had so many ideas. And then that one, it just worked out where we wanted Ceremony to do the gig and Cheer Mag and all that, and that worked out perfect. So then we're like, I think we mapped it out. We mapped the tour around that. Like, once we got that locked in, we're like, okay, then we can base this around that now. And it worked out perfect.
That's awesome. I would love to see you guys play in the locker room.
Yeah, and there's a gig there tonight. The Youth of Today one with Wise and Gun. Initiate, yeah. We played the big one, but the locker room is the one behind the stage, right?
Yeah, it's the indoor. It's like the small
It's like a little room. Yeah. I had some food in there at that show. But yeah, it'd be crazy. I'm surprised it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, I saw. I think the show tonight's supposed to be in that room.
I think it is.
Yeah. I've only been there for, I think, just one show. I saw Backtrack in there.
Okay.
Like Backtrack, Hangman.
Yes. I remember that tour. I think Terror played. Chromax played. Is that the? Oh, that was the big one. That was the big one.
That was outside.
That was outside. I would be, yeah. Yeah, it was a nice place. That's going to be crazy tonight then for Youth of Today.
Yeah.
That's a lot smaller than I would think they'd be playing.
So going back to Failed Entertainment, so, now that you're on this new record label, has there been any talk of like touring with your label mates? Because there's like a bunch of different bands that you guys could tour with. Which could be interesting.
We talked about doing something with Fiddlehead. We were having in a hazy dream. We were talking about going to like Brazil or some shit. That would be great if it happened, but that's a hard thing to do. But nothing. I think we were planning something with Basement at some point too. I think they had a tour, like the one with Nothing. I think we were gonna do that one too. So like little things here and there, but nothing too crazy set in stone. We don't tour that crazy often, so when we do, we're pretty in control. There's been a few things that have popped up that we had chances to do, but just didn't work out. But I wouldn't be against it. I'm always open to any new ideas. And I love a lot of the people in a lot of those bands, and would love to do a run with some of them. I wish we could do it all the time. But yeah, there's been talks. I like everyone over there.
And do you ever worry like going on those like different tours because the audiences like might not be familiar with like the lone hardcore band on the bill?
Yeah, I'm more comfortable in those positions, to be honest. Like when we played that fest the other day, like that, being so the odd man out gives me a lot of freedom. So I prefer that kind of stuff. No, I'm sure it could get old after a while because we do like the energy and we like the feedback and the connection you get when a lot of people are into it. But who doesn't? But yeah, we wouldn't be against it. We're always I think we thrive in discomfort.
Okay, that's awesome. How'd you guys end up on Tropicalia? Because that was like kind of like an oddball thing to see you guys on that fest, and I know like a lot of people that wanted to go, but the price point was just like really high to like just see the one band.
I would never recommend anyone do that because I surely would never do that.
Yeah.
We're getting some. We never had any booking agent or anything like that, but a few different people have hit up the label and hit us up about it, and we've talked to a few different people just to get their 2 cents. And nothing really works out. But there was this random guy who we liked what he had to say, and it's been really easy working with him. Like there's a few. We booked the Discord tour, but there's a few shows that we couldn't figure out, and he's like, that was around the time he had hit us up. He's like, oh hey, like I'll help you do those, like, you know, just because of kind of like showing us good faith, and I'll work these out, and then you know, we'll get to talk, and we'll see what you guys are kind of planning on doing and what you guys want to do, and see if there's anything that I could do for you guys that you guys wouldn't be able to do for yourselves, which we're always open to. And so then we started, those gigs went all right, went well, that he had done, helped us out with, and so we were like, okay, let's start booking a West Coast tour. And that was the one that we just announced the other day. And then as we were playing that, he just hit us up like, hey, like, I can get you guys on this fest. Like, you guys be down? And we're like, yeah, let's fucking go. Easy as that. I think it helped. I think it helped having a good record release show and having had good like a lot of people went to that show, and I think that helps. You know, those little things help open other doors, and as stupid as that sounds. I wish I could say like, oh yeah, like Golden Voice heard the record, it was like asking us to do it, but it's more logistical than that, you know.
And I feel like you guys had like a really good set time.
Oh
like,
yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah, it was like during like golden hour, and then like the sun was setting like as you guys were playing. It was like pretty awesome.
I thought we would get like 12:30 slot. Like I was expecting that.
Yeah,
and when I
woke,
woke,
opening the fest or something.
I woke up so early that day to get ready for it, and then I like checked the email, and it was like, no, you guys are playing at like 4, and I was like, oh, just lost like 5 hours of sleep for no reason.
Yeah. So like obviously like me and Garrett, like we were fortunate enough to be able to gotten in thanks to our friend Shane.
Hell yeah.
So shout out to Shane for like hooking it up. But like, yeah, it was definitely like an awesome experience to see you guys in that environment.
Yeah.
You guys had like a little bit of like a different set list than like your typical like hardcore show.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely a little more rocking.
Yeah, but I loved it. Like just like, you know, hearing the music like, you know, on such a huge stage, like it just sounded great. It was definitely a good time.
Thank you. No, I had a blast. That's what I want to do. Not like play big shows, but to play a set list like that. That's the ideal. That's where I'm at right now in my headspace.
Yeah,
so.
and kids definitely showed up, and like, you know, we're still moshing.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I seen some videos on Twitter of your guys' set, so.
Yeah, we got a few from my friends on stage. It blew my mind.
Yeah. Definitely like a cool like experience.
I wish I had slowed down more and soaked it in, but it happened so fast that I had no choice.
So I kind of find it interesting. You guys have basically played like all the major festivals in the U.S. Obviously, you guys have been on Sound and Fury since it came back. You've been on the poster, which is like definitely a big deal.
That's crazy. Yeah, that was a childhood.
How was that moment? Like, how did you figure out or find out you were on the poster?
Maddie told me.
Okay.
Because he was working the fest. He's like, hey, I think they're gonna put you on the poster this year. I was like, that's crazy. I had those posters when I was like a little kid. He's like, yeah, I think Martine's down. He really likes this picture. And it just worked out. So it's fun.
So yeah, you guys played Sound and Fury. You guys have been on United Blood.
Yeah.
FYA. You guys played Damage City.
Yeah.
You guys played
Not
Rain
Dead
Fest.
Yet.
Oh,
Rain
yes.
Fest.
But the one fest that I've always been puzzled about was This Is Hardcore.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever been offered or?
Yeah, a few times. Just didn't work out. A few times just didn't work out with scheduling, and I don't think my 1/5 of the band's opinion is not something I want to do in general. I don't hate those people, but there's a lot of things I don't really agree with, and it's more just a personal thing. But more so just the timing has never really worked out. You know, not that I'm gonna go on a rampage against it, but
yeah, for sure.
You know, like Neil Young said, they'll go their way, I'll go mine, kind of thing. So yeah.
Yeah, because that was just something that puzzled me, because I figured like, you know, you guys were a shoe-in for something like that.
Yeah, It's come up a few times, but it just, yeah, it never worked out.
Okay. And earlier you mentioned Brazil, because like you guys have traveled to Japan. You guys have definitely been international. What do you think the chances of that happening?
Oh, it could happen. It's more on us to make it happen with our schedules, which is a lot tougher than it might seem. Because there's a promoter out there that's done like Citizen and Turnover and those bands, and it's just logistically it's just hard. We got to fly into one place, play a gig, and you have to fly to the other gig, and then you got to fly to another. Like it's a lot of flights and a lot of money, and it's a big
lot of travel just to get to the shows.
It's a big investment early on, and so it's just tough. It's a tough thing to you really got to go full bore for it, and it hasn't really worked out. 'Cause life's tough. Got to keep our jobs.
I want to pause on Fury for a second. You also play in 2 other bands, to my knowledge.
Let me think. With Layman and Jam. I was in the. I played in this band Charade that some of my friends play in, and they're all in LA, so it's tough for me to get out there, and it just worked out. You know, it's just hard to get out there, so I think they're gonna keep doing their own thing without me. And then Pocket Knife was the old band. It's just a handful. Layman, Jem and Layman have been my main ones outside of Fury. And Layman was the first band I ever was in or ever started, and we're still going to this day.
And you guys just announced some shows coming up?
Yeah, doing one on the 23rd in Santa Ana, across the street from the Frida Cinema, which is like one of my safe havens. That my friend Cole's putting on. He's got a little show thing that he does called It Doesn't Mean Nothing. Okay. It's like they do a band in a movie kind of deal.
That's awesome.
It's been great. He's done a few at like Zebulon, a few in Orange County, and this one's gonna be at Frida. So we're gonna play at like 11 across the street, and then at midnight he's gonna play this movie called Something Wild at the theater. And Something Wild is like one of my favorite movies of all time. I never thought I'd see it on the big screen, and it's just worked out perfectly. Because Cole's one of my best friends, and everyone in Layman, it's like a marriage I'm in a weird way. And so this is kind of a nice little send-off before I move away.
Okay. See, I was going to ask if these shows came up just because you are leaving and you guys wanted to maybe get a couple in before you left.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, and it just worked out. Like the Big Bite show I booked a while ago, like to set up, and then all this started happening, or like the move was better planned. And then the show with Something Wild just happened to come up, so just more worked out really well. And it's not like I'm gonna be far. I'm moving to Oakland. I'm not gonna be too far. So Layman's not gonna just end. Like we'll still do stuff, but just for now, nice little send off.
Jam, you guys released a song back in July.
Yeah, we did a little song then. I think moving away, I'm definitely gonna have to take a backseat to that, and I think my friend Edward, who's been playing in the band a few times with us, I think he'll probably take over a lot of stuff, and more power to it. He's a much better guitar player than I am, and has much more time to be able to do it. But Jem's it's a really special band to me. And I do it with my twin brother, and it's always been something really special. Doing that record and putting it out ourselves was something I really always wanted to do. I'm glad I got to do it.
So, kind of sad that you couldn't squeeze in the Gem show like before you left.
We thought about it. We played one a month or two ago, and it went pretty well. But I think we all kind of knew that would probably be the last one for a while. But yeah, it's tough. They all go to school. It's tough. Tough to get a schedule in.
All right, Jeremy, I really appreciate you taking the time to do this.
Hell yeah.
It really means a lot to me because starting this podcast, I had no idea where it was going to take me.
Yeah.
Like, it's led me, to so many new friendships and, just meeting cool people and just doing things I never thought I'd be able to do. So you being down, like, from the jump, like, from me asking you, really, like, made me happy. And, like, I was just really glad I didn't have to convince you or try to sell you on it. I was just so stoked that you were able to, or down to do it from, like, the very beginning.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me. I don't know, I don't really like to say no to things. I like to spice of life, so you never know what could happen, so I figured I'll never say no to Disneyland, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Trip to Disneyland.
Trip to Disneyland is a special thing.
So Fury means a lot to me and all my friends. I just want to know what it means to you and where do you see Fury going in the future?
Oh, it means a lot to me. It's a vehicle to get to express myself as loud as I can and to as many people, and that's really saved my life and made helped a lot of things in my life, both inner and outer. I really appreciate to be able to create with my friends. That's a huge thing, to be able to collaborate and be a part of a team, and I really like that aspect about sports when I was growing up, and to be able to do that as well as make art is a miracle. So to me, it's a blessing to be able to do it. And as far as the future, I don't know. I know we have the tours, the West Coast coming up, and I don't know. We've done everything I've ever thought we'd ever do and everything I've ever wanted to do. And so now we continue the journey of seeing what comes our way, and we'll deal with it then. But for now, play these gigs and have a good time being in these places with our friends, and who knows, maybe maybe do another record down the line, or do some more weekends or some more gigs, or maybe not. I don't know. I just want to keep moving forward. This is days like these are a rare time when I let myself look back, because I don't like to very often. But I appreciate the chance to be able to do it, because it puts a lot of things in perspective, and helps me navigate whatever we do next, whatever I do next.
All right. Well, thank you.
No,
Seriously.
thank you.
This has been a dream come true.
Hell yeah. No, this is awesome.
And as weird as that sounds, being here, talking to you is it's amazing. Thank you.
It's a trip. I am thankful to be able to do it. So thanks for having me.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, magic time. So I guess you're my volunteer.
Yes.
All right, we got some cards here. I'm gonna go through the cards. Just say stop. Anytime's fine. Stop. Okay. Remember the card. You stop. Show the camera. Show the people. Got it. All right. Cool.
Yes.
Okay. Good. Place it right back in the middle. All right. We're gonna bury your card in the middle. That was fair, right?
That's fair.
How impressed would you be if I told you it was already on top?
I'd be very impressed.
Would you?
Yeah.
King of Spades?
No.
Shut up.
Swear.
Swear?
Swear.
Okay, this is embarrassing, especially on film too. But wait, magicians don't mess up. We have insurance just like you have car insurance, house insurance. I have magician's insurance. Do you see that little piece of paper up there above the wild card? Go ahead and grab that. Grab any one you want.
Which one?
Right there, magician's insurance. Yeah.
Oh, this one.
There's a little easy open on the back. Go ahead and open it up. And I want you to open up the entire thing. Just open up the entire thing. Something weird. Keep opening it. Keep opening it. Keep going. Keep going. Does that